More than 80% of the plastics detected in aquatic habitats were made, processed, and discarded on land. Microplastic pollution on land is predicted to be 4 to 32 times greater than in the seas. Because of this pollution, through plastic waste, it can bring great harm to humans and implicate the food industry. Pollutants in the soil disrupt soil chemistry, life, and structure. As a result, the soil is no longer appropriate for crop sustenance or any other sort of vegetation. If the plants die, the creatures that rely on them will perish as well. This causes larger animals and predators to migrate to other places in search of food, progressively reducing biodiversity and leading to extinction. This is the major impact of making agriculture or livestock food more difficult to get for the food sector. Chemicals and other additives are regularly added to plastics and are thus likely to be present in microplastics in the environment, posing a risk. Hazardous chemicals can leach into the soil by chlorinated plastics, which can then seep into groundwater and other adjacent water sources, as well as harm the environment, including animals that ingest the water. When farmers are uninformed of the presence of pollutants in their soil, decreased yields are ascribed to nutrient deficiency, which leads to higher fertilizer use, raising the farmers' expenses. As a result, it causes massive economic loss, including food production.
When plastic ends up in the environment, it tends to bond with environmental pollutants. With plastic that moves through the food chain, the attached toxins can also move and accumulate in animal fat and tissue through a process called bioaccumulation. Plastic has entered the food chain through microplastics, which are being carried by animals in their bodies. When they are themselves eaten, those microplastics are also ingested. Up to 236,000 tons of microplastics, which are tiny pieces of broken down plastic smaller than little fingernails, enter our oceans each year. The wildlife can be harmed by eating the plastics or by toxins attached to it, because once in the ocean, persistent toxic chemicals such as bisphenol A and pesticides stick to and accumulate on plastic particles, adding extra layers of contamination. Fish, seabirds, sea turtles, and marine mammals can become entangled in or ingest plastic debris, causing suffocation, starvation, and drowning. Besides damaging the ecosystem, microplastics also soak up chemical additives and endocrine disruptors. When they are eaten, they can enter the food chain, representing a risk to human health.
People use plastic almost every day even though they knew it's not environmental friendly. In Ghana, only 5% of plastic that makes to recycle facility. The most used plastic is plastic bottles, which account for 80% that end up in landfill. Because of the wind, this plastic waste can frequently be found on the roadside and in the streets, which affecting restaurants and stalls, making them vulnerable to pest infestation. These animals such as flies, roaches, rodents, and ants have the ability to infiltrate the whole restaurant supply chain, from raw materials to the food served at the table. Pest infestation in food preparation area increase the risk of the food contamination, while also decrease the quality of the food. Pests can spread diseases by their fur, feet, dropping, urine, and saliva, as well as hazardous pathogens such as Salmonella and E. coli. Moreover, pests also bring unpleasant smell. When confronted with a pest infestation, the health of the customer and employee, as well as company reputation, are jeopardized.
There are several ways that can be implemented to reduce the amount of plastic waste in Malaysia. As a responsible individuals, limit non-essential plastic-related products so that there will be less plastic waste that needs to be thrown away. In addition, choose eco-friendly alternatives like jute or cotton bags to put your bulk items instead of using plastic bags when you go shopping. Other than that, cooking and eating home-cooked food rather than ordering meals online could reduce the single-use plastic like plastic cutleries and also plastic food packaging. On top of that, the government needs to conduct a campaign about the awareness and solutions to achieve environmentally safe community targeting zero plastic waste. Furthermore, the government can also create creative business model that encourage the reuse and recycling activities which can reduce the plastic waste from household and also supermarket. As an example, Turkish authorities have established a machine that utilizes plastic waste such as water bottle as an exchange for cat food. Most importantly, all parties have to play their own role in order to successfully achieve our goals to zero plastic waste in Malaysia.